Hey guys, so today we're going to take a quick look at a few things I picked up my local comic book store. Normally like once a month, maybe twice if there's a holiday, we'll go ahead and have a sale where they put all the back issues down to about half off if they're, in the stacks and the bins. And they'll have the wall books at a percentage off. The wall books tend to be a bit pricier, but what I tend to do is go through the back issues and I'll bargain hunt or go for stuff that's normally maybe $2 just to get it at $1. I try not to blow my budget or anything like that, so gonna take a quick look at a few of the things that I picked up at the last sale that they had going. So this first one is just a reprint of, I believe it's the first Captain America story where he had his own title. So this is a Marvel Super Action starring Captain America. Of course, it still says big premiere issue because it's Marvel Super Action #1, but it's not, it's not like the first Captain America solo series or anything like that. It's just a reprint. But I'm a sucker for anything Captain America, and really any of the issues that have this little symbol in the corner and 25-30 cents, that's what I tend to look for. I just like that style and that era. Next up is this issue of Action Comics. Not sure exactly what's going on here, but Superman seems to be about to be burned at the stake, but seemingly by a whole bunch of soldiers. So this is obviously a little bit older. It's the 15 cents price tag, and this isn't in the best shape. It's got some wear on the corners and on the spine, but I probably didn't pay any more than a couple dollars for this, and that's worth it for me. Sometimes these Action Comics and Superman covers are worth it just for the cover. So this is one I've gone past a few times. It's Action Comics. It's a bit later because it's 30 cents up in that corner there. And they seem to have turned on Superman, and now Clark Kent is the man of the hour. Not sure what's going on again, but a lot of these early Action Comics Superman issues, it's a little silly. It's before they did, Crisis and things like that, and so they were just trying to come up with plot points, and a lot of the times for Superman, him being so strong and his powers being so fantastical, it is hard for them to come up with something to some sort of fight or protagonist. So sometimes they would just put him in weird situations. So this is probably one of those stories. This one is Green Lantern and Green Arrow. Normally, of course, it doesn't say verses up there. That's just because this particular issue, it seems like they're getting into a fight. I basically just picked this up because, on the cover, Green Lantern here is knocking Green Arrow out. That's enough of a selling point for me, quite honestly. And, for the couple dollars I paid for it, I don't think it's going to be Neil Adams in there. It looks like a Mike Grell cover. But, hey, just to have this cover, I'll plop down a couple dollars and pick that up. So this one I picked up really just based on the cover. I've never heard of it. It's from Dark Horse. It's Red Blade #1. The protagonist here does look quite a bit like Nightwing after they did the New 52 and the color swap to the red black outfit, but apart from that, not really sure what to expect. Just picked it up because it looked kind of cool and it was pretty cheap, so. This one's Adam. This is when he was sporting the suit where you could see his hair, which I think is a weird design choice, but, whatever floats their boat after hundreds of issues. I think this is when they kind of rebooted him and had him shrunk down. I don't read too much in the way of Adam. I picked up the stuff when it was Ryan Choi mostly, so original Adam I don't have too much of, but this was cheap enough and I figured I'd go ahead and pick that up. So. Another issue of Cap. I really like this stylized header with the red, white, and blue. You can tell this is probably the 90s. Well, yeah, 90s. 1992 there for the 30th anniversary of Spider-Man. And the artwork is very 90s, Layfield and Jim Lee and stuff like that. It looks a lot like one of those covers. Not sure who Warstar is. I don't know if he's really a continuing character, but there he is, and I don't know if this is Rick Jones, or I don't know why he'd be on the cover unless he was somebody kind of important, but who knows, it could mean absolutely nothing, it could just be a guy, so. This one I picked up, again, I'll pick up almost anything Captain America, even if it's kind of a junky time period. This one's from the 90s again. Just, man, looks like about a year after that last one. And it's got Crossbones in it. Never a huge fan of Crossbones. I know he's in the movies and stuff like that, but I never thought they did much with him. I do like the over-the-top cover we're here with Captain America hanging off the side of the helicopter and Crossbones aiming out. Of course, at that height, they're over the mountains here at the bottom. Looks like the Himalayas. I'm pretty sure they'd all be dead at this point with the loss in air pressure, but what do I know? This one's a issue of Superman from the, looks like 1994. Really just picked it up based on the cover. It's one of those, Superman kind of lamenting the loss. Those few times that he does lose, seems like they're always willing to give him a cover where he's holding somebody up or crying out to the heavens. So I figured I'd pick this one up simply based on the cover. It kind of reminds you of that Crisis cover where he's holding up Supergirl. Issue of Punisher War Journal. This looks like, it's John Romita Jr. art. It looks very much like his later stuff. John Romita Jr. his characters always, they're simplistic. They don't have a huge amount of lines, but he has very distinct style, and you definitely see it there on the Punisher's face. It looks a lot like his run on Daredevil and his run on Spider-Man. They all have very distinct looks, and Punisher I don't pick up too much nowadays because they don't tend to know what to do with them. Garth Ennis and them, they do good runs, and then they'll hand it off to somebody who makes them into War Machine, or makes them into some sort of craziness. I like the more street level stuff, so this looked like a good pickup. This one's very 90s. This is X-Man, who I know is related to the Jean Grey Cable line, but I honestly forget how exactly he's connected. I believe he's from the future, if I remember correctly, but, as to whether or not he's Cable's son or Cable's dad or what the hell the connection was, I honestly can't remember. I was used to like the character just because of the hairstyle and the outfit that they put him in. It was very, very 90s X-Men. From what I remember reading, he doesn't do too much. He has kind of psychic powers like a lot of the others do, but I always remember him being kind of like somebody who didn't want to get into a fight. So that I've never really liked those characters where they tend to bumble their way through as if they're, Jackie Chan and Rumble in the Bronx or something, where they're trying to stay out of trouble, but they end up in fights. I just don't like that type of characterization, but I figured these were super cheap, and I like some of the covers like this one where it's he's getting stepped on by forget his name, but it was one of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse for a while, but some of these covers are very 90s cool, so I figured for as cheap as they were, go ahead and pick those up. Not a big deal. Here's another one. I don't really recognize the signature there. LaRosa, I believe he's a penciler now, but the other name I don't recognize, but X-Man again. Oh, it's Onslaught. That's the name of that character. Wait, no, Onslaught was the Magneto and Professor X combination. I still can't remember this guy's name, but let's see. This is the last one here. As I said, I really like the outfit for X-Man. Looks it's very 90s cool. It's with the color in the hair and kind of the cable eye there and blue and the goldish yellow that they always used for those 90s suits that Jim Lee used. He's got a leather jacket. It's all types of cool, right? So I guess we'll read through these at some point, see how they are. I don't recognize any of the names as far as the writer or the artist, but hey, it was on the cheap. We'll go ahead and give X-Men a try there and see how it turns out. So that was all for today. Like I said, I try not to blow my budget at those sales there, but every now and then, payday came up and the Saturday sales come up, I'll wander in, and if I have time, I'll go through the stacks. So hopefully we'll have another of these soon and see what we can pick up. Bye.